everyone.
I'm back, baby.
It's Jake Seeley.
I'm great. Everybody else sucks.
Oh,
no. It's every nightmare I've ever had.
Excuse me?
It's time to check the link.
Pretty crazy, huh? But it doesn't matter because none of this has anything to do with the show.
You know what? You just made the list.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
It's all in football.
Sure, we talk about it all the time. Really? No.
What's up, you ducks? It feels like it's been forever. It's been a full week since we've had All in Football live on Best TV, live up in Canada. Well, no, recorded in Canada, correct, Meanie? I'm not live in Canada. I'm after the fact, right?
Like yeah, you're after the fact. 8 Eastern. 8 Eastern tonight.
8 Eastern. So there you go. So if you're watching live at 8 Eastern, we're not live. But make sure you're following Meanie and all his work at FTN and Jeff too. Code ALLIN. Get you code 20% off or get you 20% off. Still can go to The Athletic. Get a first free month. TheAthletic.com/BestTV. All capitals for that. And yes, there's no Lauren. There's a full packed house because Lauren is sick like the rest of the universe at this point. But either way, we have a replacement. Big ups, by the way. So JL found me at a conference, which I always think is weird that people want to find me. But I understand it because I did the same thing like a bunch of years ago. I sent out my work to everybody like Max Kellerman and Tony Sincata. And it's like, I don't know that I'm supposed to talk to their bosses. But JL found me and I'm like, I mean, thanks for finding me. That's pretty cool that you want to talk to me. But like, Nando's the guy you really want to talk to. But anyway, that was only 2 years ago. And now JL's like already sponsored by FanDuel. No, actually, you know what? You tell everybody. That's kind of one of the reasons. I saw your news yesterday. I kind of want to let you give a shout out and join us on this show to step in for Stepmom Lauren. Your stepdad JL today.
Stepdad JL, I like that. Oh, thank you so much for having me on. Appreciate that intro, Jake. Yeah, I pretty much just cornered Jake at a Buffalo Wild Wings and just forced him to answer a bunch of questions, and he responded to those questions by just talking to me about why boneless wings weren't really wings. So I didn't get much out of it, but it was a great conversation.
That's actually the truth. Actually, the biggest piece of truth I probably ever gave you, isn't it? Honestly, but
no, you gave me some really good advice. You gave me some.
Tell everybody where to find your show, your work, everything. Front Yard Fantasy, real quick before we jump into everything.
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Front Yard Fantasy. We got a game show where we take popular game shows or Jackbox games. We turn them to make them about fantasy football. So we're live every weekday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Find it Front Yard Fantasy on YouTube. I've already had Jake and Chris on that show. They've already come and played. So Jeff, you are the missing link here. You're next.
Did Chris win though? Chris, did you win?
Chris,
no.
I hosted when
Chris I did okay.
I
did better than I thought I was going to do,
Jake
but
won.
it was a blast. Yeah, it was of course Jake won. Yes,
you both played fantasy
at these trivia games. Yes, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, you do a good job over there, man.
Thank you.
Here's my question for you, Jeff. Have you spent the entire week taking your number one trophy around the the country and pouring drinks into it like you do with like the Stanley Cup? Did you do that yet?
Well, I didn't get a trophy yet. I pretty much spent the entire week trying to catch up on feeling a human being again. I think it's probably the best way to put it. I'm still not there yet. And unlike you, people want to dodge me at conferences. Anytime I'm at a conference, they do the thing where they look at me, then they look down at the name tag, they look back up at me, and then they walk somewhere else. So that's always fun. Yeah, usually
I think it's because nobody
hang out in the corner by myself.
No, nobody expects you to look like somebody. I was going to say, you can look like you could kick everybody's ass, and I think everybody's intimidated by you.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, I don't know.
Well, once again, in case you don't know what we're talking about, congrats. Jeff is number one, and Finley So is number one in this draft. He got the number one draft spot in this. He was the number one accuracy ranker. I came in right behind him. And as most accurate show, you guys, Chris and JL get to join the most accurate show in all the land. But real quick before we get to, we're going to do a little bit of snake draft. Everybody's hopefully playing, or I'm assuming if you're watching this show, you have some interest in playoff fantasy football. If nothing else, before we get to that, I think people are also interested in our takes of how the playoffs will roll. So I'm going to start with you, Jeff. You are the number one ranker. So as your first opinion this weekend, are you taking all the home teams? Because I like all the home teams, but I know that's the wrong decision, even though I can't decide which one I want to get away from.
Well, I think I have to start with this. If somebody picks against your team, if you're a fan of a team, it's not a shot at you. It is not. Somebody has to win and somebody has to lose in the playoffs. It's not personal, dog. All right. It's not this is not bulletin board. However you feel is not going to impact the teams whatsoever. So my suggestion is enjoy football. Instead of feeling miserable about this stuff, just enjoy the games. And I do think there is one. Now, I'm not going out on a limb on this one. It is the closest spread in terms of this weekend's action, but I do think San Francisco has a legitimate shot to go in there. It depends on which Dallas team shows up. Is it the Dallas team that was explosive in the last 3 games of the season, or was it the Dallas team that was a little bit flat offensively for a better part of the month before that? I think that's the question. We know San Francisco is going to pound the rock on the ground. Elijah Mitchell, one of the bigger surprises this year, has given them that stability. They have the greatest weapon in football right now in Deebo Samuel. They have George Kittle, by the way, just in their back pocket, just hanging out there, just in case we need him. It's going to be very interesting. If Shanahan can execute his game plan, I think they do go in and win that game.
What do you think? I know I talked to you, Chris, yesterday. By the way, we also got the answer, Mr. Nice Guy. This is why you don't play in Week 18. Did not take home the $5,000 bag playing in Week 18.
Samaje Perine.
Well, Samaje Perine touched the field. So, Chris, what do you think? I mean, if you want to say anything about Week 18, feel free. You and I did your show yesterday, but if you want to talk about your picks, I kind of know where you're already going.
Yeah, Week 18's in the past. Certainly ready to move on from Week 18. I don't really want to talk about it at all, to be honest with you. But I agree with Jeff. I put one bet so far in our FTN bet tracker. It's San Fran plus 3.5. I actually think that they can go in and win that game outright. I mean, it's basically a coin flip, is it not? You get the 3 points for Dallas being at home here. And I agree with a lot of Jeff's points. Yeah, the 1 point these days.
It's a one-point adjustment these days. Home field advantage isn't what it used to be.
No, not at all. But it's good for the Cowboys to be there because, Jake, as you know, I've talked a lot about Dak splits over the past couple of years, but this is a San Fran team that can run the rock really well, and I saw Arizona go in there a couple weeks ago and run pretty well against them. Jeff just talked about some of the players that they have on that team. I mean, Deebo Samuel is one of the best players in the NFL to watch play. He is an absolute weapon. They have so many yak monsters. I'm in on San Fran. I think they can go in and win that football game, and I don't think any of us should be shocked. I mean, Dallas is a really good team, but I am leaning with the 49ers as my favorite road dog, I guess, here this weekend.
Well, then, before I ask JL, do you think your Eagles have a shot in hell? Be honest.
Me?
Yes, your Eagles.
I think they have a shot to cover. I think they have a shot to cover the spread. That's what we're talking about. I mean,
I mean a shot in hell winning that game.
It's the NFL, right? I mean, we saw some pretty crazy things happen in Week 18 going back to it. Yeah, Jacksonville beat Buffalo. They beat the Colts with everything on the line for Indianapolis. The Eagles have had some success against Tom Brady.
Your house is on the line, Chris. The Eagles or the Steelers to win?
I'd pick Philadelphia there. Yeah, I mean,
okay. No,
I think they have at least something better going offensively.
I think most people
Pittsburgh.
would. All right, JL, are you riding the bandwagon? Is this now 3 for 3? San Francisco is the easiest dog, in your opinion?
I think they're the most likely, but I will offer a different opinion here, just because I agree with everything you guys are saying. I do think 49ers could win, but the other game that's kind of interesting to me is Cardinals and Rams. I feel like Cardinals could show up to this game's 4-point spread. I know they're a lot of people aren't expecting them to win to the Rams, but I think that this could be a game.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. I guess I'm the odd one. I think Dallas runs over, just dominates the 49ers. Unless, like Jeff said, I'm not leaving the complete a possibility of what Jeff said, which Dallas Cowboys team shows up. I just feels like the real one has showed up a lot more lately. But I would give it a 20% chance, where it sounds like a lot of you guys are kind of more like it's a 50-50. Well, maybe 40-60. I think it's like a 20% chance that the 49ers win. I think the most likely upset for me, I told this to Chris yesterday, it depends on weather. It's already in the teens if we get precipitation, which means snow. I think the Patriots could pull the upset on the Bills again, because that's a game their style wins. But if it's clear, if it's only like 15 degrees and there's no precipitation, I really think the way the Buffaloes look lately. All right, so then, Jeff, as of today, who are your Super Bowl teams and Super Bowl winner? Let's call it today.
It's actually the same as last time. By the way, if you're saying 20%, you are saying it's a 9-point spread roughly there, which that's ambitious, Jake. That's very ambitious.
I know. I actually think they win by double digits. I said that to Meany yesterday.
Wow, that would be something. That would be a
Hey,
statement.
I'm not as far as Nando. Like, I told Nando, so we did the show for The Athletic, and Nando said he's teasing it all the way up to 13.5.
Wow.
I said, yeah, I know. I said, all right, so you're taking the Dallas over, obviously. He goes, I don't like parlays. I was like, yeah, but if you don't do that, you're stupid. Like, if you're going to tease him up to 13.5, you take the Dallas over. I'm interested in, I think I would take 9.5 and then take the Dallas over if what I think happens. Because that's more of a correlation thing. But anyway, so yes, I do think it could be an easy walkthrough.
So, yeah, my Super Bowl pick last year was Kansas City, Green Bay. I had Kansas City winning. I was not right on Green Bay, but Kansas City, I think Kansas City makes it back a third year in a row. It should be potentially 4 years in a row if the NFL didn't have the most ridiculous overtime rule. That rule is one of the worst. It's not the worst in all of sports, but it is up there. If you kick a field goal, the other team can get the ball, but not if you score a touchdown. So stupid, idiotic, moronic, dumb. Yeah. Give Patrick Mahomes the ball. Let him see if he can score a darn touchdown and tie the game up, and then we have more interesting football. But I digress. I do think it is the same matchup. However, I do have the result different this year. I think Aaron Rodgers gives the ultimate middle finger. And Jake, here's a term you'll like. He is the heel for this generation of football player, and he's going to show it to his former team and then demand a trade after winning the MVP, the Super Bowl MVP, and the Super Bowl.
You don't think he walks out with the ring fingers? He pulls the Eli Manning.
Maybe.
As he limps with his COVID toe.
Yeah, the COVID. Chris, are you on the same page? Chiefs, Packers?
I'm not. At the start of this season, I had Buffalo and Tampa Bay. I am going to stick with Buffalo getting there to the Super Bowl. But I think Green Bay does get there. I think I have to come off the Bucs just a little bit. I got to come off the Bucs because for one, it's really tough to repeat, and I did have them going, but everything that's happened for them over the past couple of weeks, of course, with some of the wide receivers, and I'm not even sure, is Devonte David going to play? It looks like he's going to practice. Like, I think that's a key piece to their defense as well.
They get playoff. They get Lombardi Lenny back.
Lombardi Lenny back, certainly. He had a phenomenal season, really. He was awesome in terms of fantasy football. I mean, you got a draft day steal with him. I'm going with the Bills here. I think the Bills beat the Packers in the Super Bowl. I like what I've seen from Buffalo this season. The schedule's been pretty soft. They have beaten up on some pretty mediocre teams. We laughed about them earlier, losing to Jacksonville, but I think that they get by the Pats here. I haven't liked the way that Mac Jones has played football out of the bye. The completion percentage is sub 60. He's had a lot of turnovers, and I think Buffalo will get that right on their home turf here. And I mean, they've hung around with some pretty good teams this season, including beating the Chiefs earlier. So I like Buffalo to get there and to beat Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl.
All right, Jay, only repeats for you, or
so Sunday on our Sunday FanDuel recap show, we played this game, and I believe I picked the Chiefs and the Packers, and I believe I picked the Chiefs to win. But since Jeff picked that, I'll do a different one here. I'll say Bills and Bucks to win.
Bills and Bucks. So basically, so far we've got Chiefs, Packers, Bills and now Bucks kind of mixing it. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to overlap everybody. Meanie already knows what mine is, and if anybody has been to the Athletic, they know what mine is. I'm with Jeff half, and I'm with Meanie half. I actually have Bills and Packers, and I have the Packers. I have Aaron Rodgers winning as well as Jeff does. So the Chiefs kind of feel like they're doing anything just to survive at this point. And now that Kelsey with the hip, not that I think it didn't look that serious, but there's just a lot where I feel like they've been exposed to not having the second wide receiver, although it wouldn't shock me. I think it just seems like we're all on the same group of teams at this point. I say the most interesting one, can I get anybody on board with me to this one? The fact that I have the Bills playing the Bengals to get into the Super Bowl. I have the Bengals getting to that game. Can anybody want to be bold with me? Anybody want to come on board with the Bengals?
I mean, the bold Super Bowl call would be the Rams and the Bengals. You'd get two
Rams. I would be hell fun with that one.
Plus, you have Eric Weddle coming back. Let's not forget that.
Is that a good thing, though?
I don't know. I mean, hey, maybe it is. I don't know. It's better than
he got exposed quite a bit at times in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, is he going to be exposed when you have Jalen Ramsey and Darius Williams out there? Probably not that much. He just has to play some cleanup duty. But Stafford, if he's good, then they could be quite impressive here, especially with the way that you can lean on Sony Michel. And then obviously we know how explosive Burrow in that offense is and how good the defense is. But Jake, I do say, you say they're just skating by. The Chiefs are 9-1 over their last 10 games.
I know.
And really it's the secondary that has been the linchpin of that team. That's where things become interesting, especially if things go to chalk. That would mean they would have to face Buffalo in the second round. And that, boy, oh boy, would that be a fun matchup right there. But that would be a really interesting challenge for Josh Allen and company.
No, you're definitely not wrong. And I think that, though, if you look at it, I mean, they lost to the Bengals in that stretch. And then Broncos and Chargers and Raiders. Most of them were division games.
They beat multiple playoff teams during that run.
Weak playoff.
They still
teams.
made the postseason.
I feel like
The defense definitely turned around in Kansas City.
I mean, I'm just going back to where and I said skate by. I'm just going back to remember them. And I know that was a long time ago at this point, but I just remember them skating by the Giants. And that's always going to stick in my mind. If you can't just stop the Giants, but you're not wrong. Again, I feel like they're just missing that secondary factor on offense, really. Mostly because of Tyreek Hill, is how much teams have been able to take him out of the equation and still limit Kelsey at the same time. I'm not saying the Chiefs are completely out of it, but I think that's what makes it interesting. So
give me the Rams and Bengals Super Bowl though. Jeff kind of, I mean,
fun,
just
right?
for the
hell,
mentioned like
fun of it.
Zach Taylor and Sean McVay, right? I mean, there's a connection there with those two guys too. That would be super entertaining. I think the Bengals, they're going to be here for the next few years. They really are. This is going to be the first taste, I think, with this core. But I don't think that they're going to be able to make that push.
Then let's go to what Jeff was saying off the top. Why do we all hate the Titans? You guys are stupid.
Right. Yeah, it's a good point.
I got that in the chat. I think the comment was on The Athletic was the constant disrespect even from fantasy for the Titans. I was like, okay, thanks,
even
buddy.
from fantasy.
Yeah, even from fantasy. All right, so we're going to do a little playoff draft here. Just 8 rounds, just 4 teams, just starters essentially. This is obviously not the full what you would get on most sites. Most common, I think, for a site that runs it for you is the NFFC, which is even a bigger roster than this. I know that my fantasy league lets you commish some things. There's other sites to do. NFL.com has the rolling. You can change anybody out any given week, but the longer you keep them, the more that their bonus goes up. So if you keep them all 4 weeks, you get a 4 times bonus in the end. So real quick before we get to that, do you have a favorite one that you play, Jeff, or do you just say, you know what, I don't even want to think about it. I just want to watch playoff football?
Oh, no. All these games are better when you have action in play. Honestly, action's the only reason why now I'm back into watching golf, for example. You know, it just makes it more interesting. Did you do a one and done? Would I do a one and done, or am I doing a one and done? Of course.
Are you doing? I did a one and done this year. So,
yeah, I'm going to do pretty much any of the formats. I have my traditional draft style home league on Friday night. You know, I have the one and done, DFS. Obviously, I'm in a league that is a salary cap based, where you can only make 8 moves. It's a pretty cool one.
Wow.
So yeah, all of it makes it more interesting. At the same time, I'm a firm advocate of shutting your computer down, not looking on your cell phone, and just enjoying the games, because no matter how many times you stare at that screen, it's not going to change anything. So we only have so much more football left, right? What is it, 13 games left? So let's just enjoy the games themselves.
So what's the format you enjoy if you pick one?
All
for
of
playoff
them.
Football. All of them?
Yeah, it's just like the NFL teams, Jake. I can't pick a favorite. I have 32 favorite teams.
Lies. You don't like the Jags.
I like the Jags. I think Trevor Lawrence, that last game was a very impressive performance. I am fascinated by who this new head coach is going to be and how they're going to handle that backfield going forward.
I don't think Bill O'Brien's a bad idea, but I know people call me crazy for that.
Disagree.
We'll
you are crazy for that one. Come on, Bill
head
O'Brien.
Head coach wise, just not front office.
Regular season.
Head coach. Yes.
Yeah.
Chris Meany.
Sure.
Do you have
I like the one and done. I like the one and done. Yeah. I've done this.
So for everybody out there, you pick one player,
you
you can never use him again. And then,
correct.
So
you kind of take this strategy for week 1. You want to pick some losing teams. You rock with some Eagles. Maybe you roll Najee Harris out there, Deontay Johnson. You keep Big Ben off to the side. You don't draft him. But you take players that you think are going to lose here in the first round. But you can, like that San Fran Dallas game's tough. Like, do you you could obviously, if San Fran loses, you don't have Debo on your roster, you don't have Kittle, so you really do have to make
it
a situation.
Game out of Debo if you're trying to save him. Yeah,
I think there's something to be made for that kind of strategy. Yeah, get the one game maybe on either side, whether it's a Lamb or a Debo in there, because there's obviously a lot of powerful players in that matchup. But that's the one and done is my favorite.
Do you have a favorite, JL?
Yeah, the one and done is my favorite as well. I like the element of strategy that it adds on top of it. You got to figure out not only which team is going to go the farthest, but which player is going to be good in that specific matchup, like which matchup is going to be the best for that player.
Oh, so well, I'm the only one that I like all of them, but I really like the NFL one because you can pick whoever the hell you want, but you're trying to predict the Super Bowl because you get the 4 times bonus if you get all 4. Well, actually, all you need is the who's playing in the Super Bowl, not even the Super Bowl winner, and you take that shot. So it go to this show what we're talking about. If you're on the Packers, you actually leave potentially your quarterback spot empty. Now I'm taking the Bills, so I would put Josh Allen there. But if I had the Titans and the Packers, it'd be like, okay, do I leave the quarterback spot empty for a week to get the 2 times bonus next week? Or do you get the quarterback for 4 games? I think that adds kind of a similar strategy to the one and done. So, all right, let's do our little draft here. Mini draft for everybody out there. It's super flex, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. Jeff already went off before the show started that we're all starting a tight end. I would have made it a flex tight end, but there's only 4 teams is the why. And again, the NFFC forces you to. Yeah. So, Jeff, you have the first pick, and it's going to come back around to you for like 7 picks from now. So the kind of thought process behind your first pick, this is now for everybody out there. Also, this is a keep your team. This is draft and hold. Can't make any drops. Can't make any moves. This is your team for the entire playoffs.
Yeah, and the home league that I'm in has 8 flex spots. And so it's 1 quarterback, 1 kicker and defense, and then 8 flex spots. So that's where I was banging the table for. Given the size of this league, it does dictate how I would make this pick. And for me, the clear pick here is Devonte Adams. The reason why I'm going for that is I'm going to try and get after a player who I think makes it through to the Super Bowl. Now, it's great to have 4 games. He can't do that, but he can have 3 very, very, very good games. So I'm going with Adams with the first overall pick.
All right, JL, that means it's on you and your thought process behind this.
All right, so Adams off the board. Where do I want to go? I don't know that I want to go QB here because there's only 4 of us, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like one of the 3 or so. Oh, that's a good point. You know what? That'll change my mind, Jake. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers. Go Aaron Rodgers in my first pick here.
Oh, Packers to start things off. Interesting. That leaves me on the clock, which makes my pick pretty easy for the fact that I get 4 games for my Super Bowl quarterback and the fact that I have the Bills going. So I'm hoping this screws up Chris Meany's draft because he has the Bills just like I do. Yeah. And I would take Josh Allen in this situation, again, because it's super flex. And also now I get not only get my quarterback that's in the Super Bowl, I get my quarterback for 4 games and in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you burned me. You burned me on that one. I'll take Diggs. What am I going back to back here? Snake style?
Yeah, snake style. So Stephon Diggs. So again, thought process behind that. I know what you're thinking, but for everybody out there.
Well, my thought process is that I got the Bills to win the Super Bowl. So I think
trumps the fact that Cooper Kupp is still out there. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Right.
I was hoping you would get where I was trying to set you up.
So, I mean, I really like this Rams squad. I've been on and off of them all year long. I think that they get by Arizona, but man, Matthew Stafford, like he just has looked pretty inconsistent over the past couple of weeks.
As a quick sidebar, while you're thinking about your second pick, and this goes out to everybody, Jeff, JL too. Do we think Stafford's kind of breaking down at this point? Because this is what happened last year, and this was the offseason talk about. People were saying, wow, they're going to give up that much when we don't even know Stafford with his back and his knee and his head and his shoulder. Like, do you just think maybe that's what it is, or do you think it's the offense? Chris, it's on. You can go, but if anybody else wanted to chime in.
Sure, he's kind of breaking down. There was a moment in the season where he had like 12 injuries listed next to his name, and there was some talk about
that's not even
back.
Hyperbole.
No, it's not. I mean, they had a list of all the injuries.
I feel like he always has his thumb injured.
And the back, the offensive line hasn't been great for him lately. He has thrown a lot of pick sixes. I think Trevor Lawrence only has more picks than him overall. I still like this team, especially the pressure that they can dial up in the secondary that we already talked about. I think that they get by Arizona here, but I don't think that they match up all that well to the other teams that they potentially could play. I mean, San Fran is not a great matchup for them, obviously, if they end up playing San Fran later on down the road, or having to go into Lambeau and play the Packers there is tough. So, I mean, I'll let somebody else talk about Stafford, but clearly this is a huge game for him. Is a guy that's never won a playoff game, and he has all the weapons surrounding him and a great defense behind him. So a lot is on the line for Stafford, I think, from a career standpoint.
I mean, if a quarterback who just threw 41 passing touchdowns and almost 4,900 yards is breaking down, I mean, sign me up for a broken down quarterback then.
I'm at the second half of the season.
And he was still pretty solid the second half of the season. There was really one glaring game. Now, he's throwing some interceptions, of course, because he has moxie and he's playing against good defenses. I think that might be narrative. That might be Patrick Mahomes forgot how to play football. Remember that? Remember that BS when people were like going off on 100%. That? Come on, guys. Like, seriously. Matthew Stafford is just fine. And, the thing is, he's still younger. He's not old at this point. So, no, I would say this is his maybe second or third best season of his career. And let's also be clear that he was responsible for 2 of the top receiving yards seasons of all time. I mean, I don't know. I think that might be a little overblown. They did have some tough competitors down the stretch. Now, Minnesota, that game was a little glaring, but, any given Sunday, you can have these things happen. By the way, going back to earlier, the Jets almost beat Tampa. So the Eagles certainly could win. I mean, I don't want to rule that one out.
You're waiting for that one?
Yeah. Eagles-Pittsburgh Super Bowl. Anybody want to put a bet down on that?
No.
That's a weird one. Like, Philly fans think that they're like Steelers are their rival, but yet Baltimore, Washington, D.C., New York, both New York teams, and Boston are all closer geographically.
It's true.
Like, it's odd. Pittsburgh's 5 freaking hours from where I live. It's like forever away.
All right. So, did you get your second pick there, Chris?
I've had a lot of time to think about this, haven't I?
I called the hell out of that for you.
Although I am in on Buffalo here, with the fact that we got to roll out a tight end, I'm going Kelsey. I'm picking Travis Kelsey here. I think that it will come down to 2
games potentially.
Potentially, that could happen unless we see. I'm still going to take it.
Okay, it's certainly warranted. Again, I was thinking about it. I'm glad you kind of made the decision for me because I was going back and forth and like, do I want a Kelsey knowing that I'm that much in on the Bills, mostly because of that, and then where do I go if I am in on the Bills? I don't even want him. Like, part of me wants to go Singletary here because I get Singletary for 4 games, but it's Singletary, and it's Singletary, which is just, you kind of screwed me over at the same time, Chris. That makes you feel good. And you know what?
Good. You deserved it because I wanted Allen. I wanted an Allen Diggs combo here. Yeah.
Well, then, so I will go with this. I already said that I have the Bengals going further than anybody else, which means I could probably wait on this pick, but I won't. And I'll just take Joe Mixon because if I have Joe Mixon playing 3 games, he is arguably the best running back, if at worst case scenario, second best running back. So that
is a solid pick.
I know. Thank you, JL. And it's on you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I know you needed my validation for that. I got you, Jake.
You're up.
I'm up. All right. You know what? I was worried about taking him just because I'm worried how far the Bengals will go in this, but I just feel like the explosive upside is going to give me an edge here. I'm going to go Jamar Chase.
See, you're supposed to let that come back around to me because I was the only person in on the Bengals. So you just screwed that up. Stop screwing up my picks, guys.
Playing defense here.
I see that. Well, we don't have a defense, fortunately. So puts it back. Jeff, you're up for 2 here. No quarterback.
I can at least applaud that. Until we adjust defensive scoring and get rid of the antiquated system that we use. But I digress. This is easy. Thank you, Patrick Mahomes. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I'll send you the cards in the mail. So thank you for that as well. And hey, if I'm wrong and it's not the Packers, then this will work out for me quite well. Tom Brady.
Shoot. Damn it, Jeff.
See, that's what you get. in your face. Well, so real quick, because you say if it's not the Packers, so you're taking that side of it instead of Matthew Stafford, who would have to go through the Packers.
Well, ultimately, the showdown, if 1 and 2 face each other, it'll be the rematch. I'm hoping for that. I really am. I love good storylines. And
Right.
for
No, but I was
Packers
trying to point out the fact your thought process, because if Stafford gets through Rodgers, then you get through that next game. So, okay, so you're saying Tom Brady actually goes to the Super Bowl instead.
I'm saying, yeah, it would be.
Okay.
So this would be
Okay.
a 4-banger from both of these guys, which would be
Okay.
massive. Brady is undefeated in his playoff career with the Buccaneers. So there's that. But yeah, if I had my way in a perfect world, it would be Rodgers and Mahomes as my quarterbacks. But since this is a super flex, I want to knock these guys out. I don't want to be stuck with like the 8th quarterback off the board. So
Like
here we
me.
go.
Like I will be. Yes. I'm already preparing myself for the 8th quarterback off the board.
Are you? Are you?
Yes.
Well, it's on JL, so we will see what quarterback's potentially left for you.
Man, I don't like this pick
Quarterback
now.
or-
I was
yeah,
set on
see?
Tom Brady. You want to just give me
Should've
Tom
done
Brady,
that
Jeff?
Instead of Jamar Chase. That's what you get. So
I know. I should have taken him before Jamar.
And then you would've
You know
still got
what?
Chase.
God, a lot of these guys feel too early. I'm gonna go Leonard Fournette. I'm gonna go running back here. I think Tampa Bay is the. I think I'm gonna go playoff Lenny. I'm gonna hope that. I mean, he's sort of
Lombardi
just Lenny
Lenny.
now,
That's
right?
what you're hoping for.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if
So-
you're listening to Gronk, he's Fournette, which is the most unoriginal nickname in the history forever.
Good one, Gronk. That's creative for Gronk. Give him some credit.
Yeah,
He thought about
absolutely.
that. Spent the entire plane ride trying to think that one up.
Yeah, I got it.
So why running back over another quarterback then, right now?
Well, at this point, I know you guys are going to stop taking quarterbacks soon, except for Meany. I'm hoping he starts soon. But there's enough of these guys are I don't see them as being likely to make it past the next couple rounds, and so I'd rather take a shot on locking up some of these like flagship positions here at the skill positions, and then get one of the my second quarterback as someone who is going to be more of a long shot.
All right. That makes sense. So I'm going to go with, of course, I have Aaron Rodgers. So if I get something where, by the way, Micah Parsons and who else? Tyron Smith both returned to practice today. So go Cowboys. And even if they somehow surprise all the way and somehow get to the Super Bowl, then a Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, instead of Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers would make it real nice for me. Again, I don't think that's going to happen, but this is similar to Jeff's kind of thought process with Tom Brady, is that if this breaks right and Dak ends up in the Super Bowl instead of Rodgers, then I'm sitting nice. Screw you over again, Chris?
No, Cowboys are losing this weekend, dude.
So Garoppolo all the way.
Yeah. He probably will end up on my squad considering how I've gone about this so far. I'll take Aaron Jones. Give me a Packer on the other side. I'm just trying to grab players from teams I think will be in the Final Four here. So I will go Aaron Jones, and I will take a quarterback. I'll go Burrow. I think we get a couple games out of Joe Burrow. I had to get at least one guy in there that I think will win one game.
Oh,
here
now
this
everybody's in on the Bengals.
Yeah.
I do have Cincinnati beating Las Vegas. Does anybody here have the Raiders? They do have something going on this
You
season.
don't have the
God,
Bengals
no.
beating the Titans like I do.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do, because we talked yesterday. I do know that. I remember. All right, so far, Meany's the first with 4 with Joe Burrow, Jones, Diggs, and Kelsey. You have one of each position so far, Chris, so you're kind of balanced. I got Dak and Josh Allen and Mixon, so now I'm kind of thinking wide receiver, but you already took Diggs, and now if I go to wide receiver on the other side, first pick, Ratcliffe, took Adams. So my top wide receivers for my teams are out. JL screwed me with Jamar Chase, so might as well go all in at this point. See what I did there? Go all in. I might as well pair CeeDee Lamb and just hope the Cowboys rip this off, because that's kind of my hope and prayer is how this draft is going now. You're kind of forcing me down a direction that I wouldn't have a rooting hope for because I hate the Cowboys, but hey, that's where I'm headed at this point. So now it's on you, JL.
All right. Do I want to go quarterback here? Do I want to get another wide receiver?
Rodgers,
Let's see.
Fournette, and Chase so far for JL.
Jeff's got
Quarterbacks.
2
You
quarterbacks.
got
so he's probably
Stafford,
not-
Tannehill, Kyler.
I'm not gonna go quarterback here because Jeff's already got 2. and I don't think he's going to draft a third. I feel like that would be definitely a bad move. Do it, Jeff. Do it. Let's go with Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. That's a solid pick, especially if you are similar to what Jeff's thinking was. Jeff, were you thinking Mike Evans because you already had Brady for your next pick potentially?
No.
Okay.
He's playing it cool.
There you
He really wanted Evans.
So then where are you headed with these two picks, Jeff?
I am heading with Tyreek Hill.
Okay. I mean, we're kind of just giving you
It's
the
amazing that
cheese
he's
at this point.
that he's fallen that far. Yeah. Yeah.
The playoff drafts tend to be this way, though. And Jake, you're exactly right. You get forced potentially to go in a direction, and instead of fighting against it, like just go with it. If you're watching right now and you have a playoff draft, go with it, because if you're going to spread your eggs out into many baskets, you're not going to win your playoff leagues. You really have to
100%.
load up on particular teams. Running back is going to thin out extremely quickly here. It already basically started to. So even if I get 2 games out of Derrick Henry, I will take 2 games out of Derrick Henry. So let's go Derrick Henry.
Most people would.
Yes.
I think that's I wasn't sure if you're going to do the Derrick Henry or the Clyde Edwards-Helaire and just keep with the Chiefs at that point.
I don't have confidence in the workload for Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Certainly valid.
Yeah.
Hey, is that not just workload in the fact that he might be backup to Darrell Williams at this point?
Could be what was the practice status today? I missed it. Was it limited?
It sounds like it, but I don't think we got the official. It
Yeah,
sounds like limited
so
portion, blah,
that's
blah, blah.
the other concern, because Andy Reid said we're going to get him out there and get as much work as we can. And Andy Reid is relatively straight shooter with that sort of stuff. He's not going to beat around the bush. He's not going to Urban Meyer us and lie to us, but he's not going to tell us everything, obviously. That to me is pretty eye-opening. And, at least wild card round, I would expect to see a lot of Darrell Williams, actually, and maybe not very much at all of Edwards-Helaire. So that's a factor here for me with this pick.
All right. On you, JL. Back to you.
All right. Back to me. Man.
It's only like
There's
5 minutes to
two-
prepare for this pick.
I know. It's only like I knew this was coming. There's 2 quarterbacks that I'm okay getting. And I think that Chris is going to probably take one of them. with
Well, you might as well
Mariota
spell
it
it
is.
out. So
Give him
so we know
Mariota.
So I'm going Mariota. Let's go.
Did you see the $10,000 bet some mook put on the Raiders to win the Super Bowl?
Oh my God.
I'm like, really?
Lost
Could you-
$10,000.
Yeah, exactly. Could you just send me 9,500 of them, put 500 on them to win the Super Bowl? Like, seriously? Anyway, go ahead, JL.
Must be nice.
All right.
Yeah.
I know.
This feels very bad. I'm just gonna preface it with that if you had told me I'm making this pick earlier in the season, I probably would have thrown up. But I'm gonna go Devin Singletary. They've been giving him so much work, and I think the Bills have a good chance to make a run at it. So I'm gonna take Devin Singletary and hope to God that they don't just stop running.
Well, I was between Devin Singletary and the other running back, and the way that my draft is going, son of a bitch, go Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott. That's where I'm going. Let's go Cowboys. Actually, just make the Super Bowl as aggravating. Hey, at least that way, I definitively have a rooting interest because I'll be rooting 1,000% for whoever's facing the Cowboys in the Super Bowl at this point. Because now I have Dak, Lamb, and Zeke, and it's on you, Chris, for 2.
Man, you guys were talking about a strategy, like go all in. This is what not to do. I have 3 teams here represented,
Yes,
the
you do.
AFC. Like, this is a complete mess, what I have going on here. So,
Chris is going to
I
have
guess
like 2 people in the final game.
yeah, I will. But I'll get a lot of points leading up. We'll get a lot of points leading up to it, I think. Man, it does feel a little weird to pick a guy like Alan Lazard this early over some of these wide receivers that are hanging out, but I do feel like the Packers go the distance here. I think that they get to the Super Bowl. So they will be one of my picks over Cooper Kupp. Yes, I am doing that.
Wow.
That's a thing here on this show. And I'm looking at the list. I can't go another tight end, Dawson Knox. But, since we ripped... Wait, can I take that pick back? Can I take Lazard back?
I mean, if you want.
Let's do
You
it.
got to do a shot, though.
I'll do a shot. Heck yeah, I'll do a shot.
So now they're not going to this.
That's not a punishment.
You're not going for speed?
Man, I am all over the place
Nobody
here,
knows that
fellas.
reference. No.
I am the speed reference from back in the day. I am going with Kupp and Stafford.
There you go. I actually like that better.
Give me Cup and
Where
Stafford.
we were going.
On the
It's
Rams.
way
now.
better than Lazard.
Oh my goodness!
Honestly,
yeah. What was I
this
thinking?
This is similar to Jeff's pick of the fact of if they win 2 games, this Cup
Right.
Stafford pick is terrific, honestly, because now you have
see.
Diggs and Cup. And
I was really hoping Cup would
see.
fall.
I mean, obviously, we'll see. I mean, but that's actually I like that. I like that move over the Lazard pick.
Imagine
now-
thinking about Lazard.
Think about Lazard. I don't know what you were thinking, honestly. Just
Not
Throw us
gonna
off.
lie.
Psychological
So
warfare.
I wasn't thinking Alan Lazard, but now I think mine feels kind of obvious. But I'm not going Amari Cooper. I'm not going to go that far with the Cowboys.
Might
So
as
I'll
well,
go
dude.
back to. No, I mean I already have Joe Mixon, so I'll go to T. Higgins and pair up the Bengals for that. I actually thought about the Cooper Cup play when you did it, but I didn't like the fact that I wasn't in the position where you were, where I'd actually be able to double tap the Rams before. I mean, I have 4 picks before coming back around, and that was kind of why I was a little bit concerned about that. So now it's on JL. JL's Buccaneers for 2, Bills for 1, Bengals for 1, Packers for 1. You and Meanie are
Real
kind of like
chalk.
going down different roads here from Jeff and I.
I'm glad you took T. Higgins because I was tempted to take him in this pick, and I was going to feel weird if I had to do if I had to have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on my roster. But I'm a T. Higgins truther, Clemson boy. So T. Higgins is my guy. I'm going to go AJ Brown. I really hope the Titans aren't going to just like completely flop in the first round here. And if they don't, then AJ Brown he's the guy there. He's the guy there. And Derrick Henry coming back, I think this offense will run through Derrick Henry and AJ Brown.
Okay. So then it's on Jeff for 2. Mahomes, Henry, Adams, Hill, Brady, 1 running back, no tight end, no third wide receiver.
Well, the tight end is done. I'm taking Gronk
Nice.
to stack that bad boy up.
I felt like Gronk already went.
I was really hoping Gronk would fall.
Good pick. Legit
Thank
good
you.
pick.
He's going to be a monster this weekend.
And
That's on me for missing that one.
you know, with a league this size, so if it was an ordinary, if this was like a 7-team league, because a lot of these postseason leagues are 7-teamers, or if it was larger than that, I would very likely at this point just be loading up on my teams. But being that we're 4, we can afford to, like the AJ Brown pick right there. Like that's a good pick right here. Instead of loading up on the teams, let's try and load up and maximize points. So we talked about him earlier, and another player who is still on the board and he's fantastic, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, no kidding.
Especially if you
love
think
that.
the 49ers can pull that game off, then you get 2 games of Debo.
Yeah.
So, all right. One more spot coming back around for Jeff has a running back to finish out his draft, and now it's on JL. JL, you need a tight end on the super flex.
I do.
You played the what the hell, I don't even care at this point at the quarterback. So one of these 2 positions is like, what the hell do you even care for the last pick?
Exactly. I was really hoping Gronk would fall. That was a great pick, Jeff. I think that there's a very big tier break between Gronk and the next guy. Travis Kelce, Gronk, and then
Well, if you think the
Massive
49ers
break.
can pull off the game,
if they can,
Kittle's still sitting.
I would go Kittle, but I'm a little terrified to do that. So I'm going to go Dawson Knox. I think Dawson Knox, while I don't see that he has the same upside as George Kittle, he gets those red zone opportunities. And I do think the Bills are going to make are going to go decently far into the playoffs here. So I'm gonna take Dawson Knox. I think he's probably the next best guy when factoring in probability of actually making it to the Super Bowl.
So that's 2 of the last 3 rounds. JL, this is your first and last time ever being on the show. Just want everybody to know that.
Yes,
Pick rocks. I hate you with the fire of 1,000 suns. And
that's fair. That's fair.
congrats on your show. I hope that has
Thank you.
success because I never want to see your
And
face
go to
again.
hell.
Yeah, go to hell. I'll give you a nice little. You can take the duck with you. Here, let's see if we can get the
That
duck
Kittle's
to-
still on the board, or
There we go.
CJ
Oh, wait,
Uzama.
I forgot that never shuts up now. Crap. That's going to keep going. So I need a tight end and a wide receiver. I'm the last person to take a tight end. So strategy-wise, there you go. I might as well go wide receiver. So Mixon, Higgins, Cowboys, and Josh Allen. I don't have a Josh Allen piece. So wide receiver-wise, I'm going to let Deontay stay out there. 1 game and done. My choice really comes down to, do I go full all in and take Cooper as well? Or do I take Gabe Davis and have some fun with that Bills in the Super Bowl? And I think for that, I've already got my pieces of the Cowboys, so I'm going to put Gabe Davis on this team and hope that my Bills pick I want to get somebody with Josh Allen. He's been hanging on my team solo since the beginning of the draft. I want to get somebody for him to run out here with.
How do we feel about Gabe Davis, Jeff? Like from a dynasty standpoint, like this is a guy next year we're talking about being a solid wide receiver 3 in fantasy.
The connection that he has with Josh Allen is legit. My one main concern, Jake, for this week though, is if Emmanuel Sanders is on the field, they're going to use him. Now, I think they'd be foolish to not recognize the fact that Gabe Davis gives you something in that offense that you simply don't have otherwise. But at the same time, they have gone back to that over and over and over again. It'll be a weird game just given the weather as well. You know, the temperature, even if there's no winter weather, no snow, it's still going to be an interesting game. But Meanie, I do like Gabe Davis for the long term. He's going to be with Josh Allen, and we haven't even seen what Josh Allen's fully capable of yet. That's the scary part, how good he could potentially be in the long term.
Yeah, I would actually I would even make a side bet that Gabe Davis has more snaps than Emmanuel Sanders, even if Sanders is active. I think he's fully surpassed him.
I don't hate that. I just is it 70+% or is it 50+%? That'd be my one main concern. Okay. I don't.
Well, this is all for all
pick,
4
though.
weeks too. Yeah. So you're. So, all right. So, Meanie, your last 2 picks, running back and wide receiver to finish off your draft. And thank you for asking a question on my show.
I owed you one from yesterday. Okay, so I guess I'm all in on the Rams here. Just give me Odell Beckham Jr. To pair up with Stafford and Kupp. And then here it's like, do I go with Sony Michel? Do I take 2 running backs at a Green Bay? I mean, Dylan's still going to get a lot of work here. If they go to the Super Bowl, I mean, Dylan and Jones, is that a weird strategy to have 2 backs from the same squad? I feel like it kind of is, but I will not be taking Cam Akers. I loved seeing him back on the field. Crazy story for that guy to get back on the field before the season is over. You know what I will do, Dylan? I'll go. Just give me both Packers backs here.
I don't dislike your strategy. Since this is your last pick, I'm going to ask everybody on there as we get out of here for the chat question here. Your favorite? Give me one player. Your favorite one and done player for the first round, Chris.
Probably a Hurts, Jalen Hurts, or Dallas Goedert, like one of those 2 guys for this weekend against the Bucs. Yeah.
So I have a tight end, and now this is part of the other reason I didn't want to go Amari Cooper, because the way my team's set up, I have to take Dalton Schultz, and because the tight ends that are left, Freiermuth, as much as you guys know I love them, one and done. Darren Waller, one and done. I mean, this is what happens. George Kittle, I don't think is getting past. If I was like you guys, I would have considered George Kittle, but Dalton Schultz would finish off. So my favorite one and done is actually get the tight end, George Kittle. It's either George Kittle. For me, it's either George Kittle or Deebo Samuel. It's one of those 2, because I'm going to keep going back to it. I'll 100% eat crow on the show next week with Jeff, but I don't think the 49ers have a shot in this game. So, JL, your final pick, your super flex, which quarterback you're finishing off, and then your favorite one and done pick for week 1. All
right, I feel like
weekend.
I feel like the only guy left to realistically take here is Ryan Tannehill, and I'm going to pair him up, stack him with H. I don't feel comfortable. Nice. I mean, I would love to get Kyler, but I feel like that would be a one and done type of move.
So, favorite one and done pick for this weekend?
Favorite one and done. I'm gonna go. You took mine with. You took 2 players, Jake. Why'd you need to take 2? You could have taken.
Okay, so
Kittle
I take
or
Deebo. So you want Kittle? So there you go.
No, I don't want him.
So see, you didn't even want Kittle that bad. What are you bitching about?
I don't want him anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll go with Kyler Murray. You know what? I'll go Kyler Murray.
There you go. That's a good call for that one. All right, Jeff, you get to finish things off here. Running back and your one and done pick for the week.
Well, I don't love the running back pick, but I'm going to just take Clyde Edwards-Helaire, because if they do play 4 games, even if he's not that effective this week, he'll be another week removed and then another week removed and so on. As far as one and done is concerned, let's see. So highest over-under is the Monday night game. What's the second highest over-under right now? Trying to remember.
I think San Fran and Dallas.
San Fran and Dallas.
Yeah.
So then I'll go with that game since JL went with the other game. Let's go Dak Prescott.
All right. Dak Prescott, which is
sticking to my guns on that one.
Yeah, everybody hates
my confidence, I'm not even as confident as Meanie in that I'm going to put any money on it. I think the lines this week are so tight. as of right now. There's not much edge there. There are some player props, which if you're watching right now, ftnbets.com, Meany will have props up. I'll have props up. Our whole crew will have props up here in the coming days. There are some player prop lines that look potentially promising for Saturday. And I think that's where our edge is this week. I don't really like the game lines a lot. There's not a lot of meat on the bone this week.
Yeah, there's not a lot, but there'll be a lot of meat back on the show next week. See what I did there. Follow Chris Meany at Chris Meany, Jeff at Jeff Ratcliffe. For JL at FYF, that's Front Yard Fantasy, John Luke. Make sure you follow him there and check out the work of the entire show, the fun games that they have over there. I'll post these out to see if you guys can vote Twitter on the polls and vote for why my team sucks. So congratulations, everybody. Appreciate JL stopping by. Have a good week. Enjoy as Jeff said, just enjoy football.
Well said.